Thanksgiving support. Yeah. All of my neighbors were here. Denise and them probably didn't know, they didn't come. But the whole family here came, and the circular driveway.
I know, I can't wait to meet him.
They brought lemons and everything. I would have told him to come back.
They have really good lemons. I put one of them in there.
Oh, good, yeah. He's got a lemon tree. He goes up and down the whole street giving everybody lemons. And
is that where Andre would go sneak off to take the lemons? I was wondering. We had the one next door. It was a different owner, and she used to let us just walk in there and get all kinds of stuff.
What was her name? The one you
Idaho.
Not Idaho.
Idaho. Oh, she used to sit in the backyard.
Well, this one was here today. The tall blonde. She had she got chickens and stuff. I
haven't met the new person, but
she been here a while. She done raised the son up here.
All over her garden.
But Angie and them stayed here when they were little kids.
Yeah,
because they knew everybody. They built a steel house over there. On the
yes, I still
There's a steel house. Her and her brother helped build that house.
Nice.
And she still goes over there. What happens when you go?
Oh, they're fabulous. They're a Japanese couple. I cannot believe they allowed us to come over there.
I didn't know they were Japanese. They helped build a house, a steel house.
4th grade and 5th graders building a house from the ground up, and he literally let us do whatever we wanted. Like, he would just be like, yeah, sure, hammer that. And he's got a whole crew, like, actually building the house. And I'm like, wow, we must have been a nuisance.
That's so supportive.
I know, and then when he saw me, he knew me. He was like, I was like, do you know who I am? He said, yeah.
Because they were little.
I know who you are. I was like, what? I thought you were white. My whole time
in your memory?
I was like, I thought you were white.
Because as a little kid, you don't know.
Well, you know, we used to have a lot of more deers around here. They'd be helping to their long legs and stuff. Now we don't see them that much.
Galloping.
I see them all down on the street, yeah.
The bucks. I remember I came out like 6 o'clock in the morning. We had to take the garbage to the curb, me and Darrell. When Lynn and Uncle Darrell and them stayed here. And it's 6 a.m. in the morning, and I hear the little hooves, and I stopped, and it's a huge buck with like beautiful, like his antlers went. They extended like multiple layers. I'd never seen anything that beautiful.
And they just stand up and look at you.
He just kept going. He just turned. He's like, man, this is what I'm doing, you know. But other than that, we see like the regular, like they're girl deers or they're in their kids. We don't normally
wildlife
see.
Come out here. Period.
I always see the ones
one
with
time
the around here.
One time, what are the ones with the eyes?
The coyotes?
No. What's the other one?
Raccoons?
Yeah, the raccoon. He was standing up like a man holding a garbage top up, eating.
Yeah, the trash pandas.
I wasn't going near. They say they'll cut you like a razor.
Oh yeah, they don't play about their garbage now.
Okay.
Trash pandas. Okay.
Can I ask you a couple questions real quick?
Okay.
So what is going on here? You said a lot of people were here in the morning. Can you explain why?
Well, Faye Servicing, they went out of business and they lost their license. And so the Secretary of State, I got all the papers for what I'm telling you. They said that Clarion Mortgage is they suspended their license. They're no more, and everything, and they didn't leave any papers, and everything connected with them is null and void. We got that in writing. So if all they have is Clarion Mortgage, they don't have anything on my house. You see, but they're trying to. If they could get me to believe what they say, and move out, and then it takes you years to get back in. You know, when they take all your stuff, but they crooks. Absolutely correct. So I say, well, who gonna believe this stuff that you're talking about? How is are they now the bank owns the house and they bought and sold it, and it's got the same wording all the way around that they had been representing them, and I say, who gonna believe that?
Even though you didn't sell it to them, they can just pop up saying they own it.
Well, but Bob says that they already had it checked that they was copying my signature, because I remember looking at something and I looked at the M straight, and I never did M's like that, just straight up like that. I have a certain way I do.
And this would be the company that got in trouble in Sacramento. That's forging signatures.
I don't know if it's the same company, but that's how they do it.
I don't know about the one he has, but they're all over the place. Hey, we'll send you some articles because they are known racketeers, and they're proud of it. You know, they was up there all because we ran it up on the TV on the internet, and I say there they are, crooks, and they getting away with it. They do because they bail them out of jail. They arrested them. They said, well, I'm not guilty until I'm found guilty, and they still doing it. So I'm just supposed to, and they hate me because, you know, it's a black old woman fighting back. They can't get it, boy. They just call me every kind of name, and
have they tried to intimidate you?
yes, harass me. I almost lost my life because they had me because they set the judge up. Now I told the judge, I wrote that judge. This was in a bankruptcy court. And he said I was a chronic bankruptcy filer. My lawyers would fix those papers up for me. It's not against the law to file bankruptcy, but it's against the law to racketeer. And he didn't mention them. What was that judge's name? I got this letter. I sent one in, but they cover. I sent the what is their name over the judges? Over there on Golden Gate in San Francisco. I sent them a letter and complained about this judge, and you know what they sent me back? We don't have anybody by that name. And my good friend is George Holland from the NAACP. He said, "Faye, they lying. They don't have no federal judges up there in Martinez." And the guy was on some of my papers, but they wrote me the Judicial Performance Commission and told me that there was nobody by that name. I remember when he retired. So, boy, we got a hard way to go because if the judges, we don't have who's going to fight for us?
Right. So the judge, is there a forged signature with fake judges' stamps out there as a part of this process, or what's?
No, but I know I didn't sign anything. I would never sign anything. I've never even acknowledged Faye Servicing because I knew right away they were crooked because when I first heard from them was in March 21, and they wrote me that they were taking over the mortgage and everything. So I said, okay. So I didn't know what they were talking about because I hadn't had all of them either filed bankruptcy or went out of business. You know, they just was rotating around. And so what I believe is they just found out that wasn't nobody over mine, so they decided to take it.
So when you say wasn't nobody over yours?
Yeah, I didn't have nobody sending me nothing, you know, because they was fighting for their own life. Some of them gave me money back, you know. So when they Faye Servicing came along and they started asking for things, I didn't pay them any mind. So what they did though, they would send me big old bunches of paper that was too heavy for me to put it on my. You got one today. I mean, we got one. Put it on my thing, and then all it is stuff that they copied off of my file or something, you know, or somewhere else. But they were literally swearing that they was over the property now, and they were gonna do this and they were gonna do that. But Faye Servicing. But when they found out I was on to them, then they put U.S. Bank as the one, and the one W. Wrights. I got all their names and stuff. Mm-hmm. But anyway, they U.S. Bank they all over the news for being crooked.
Right.
Crooked as they can be, and they now they're supposed to be the owner of my house, but who's gonna believe that they buy? Because look, if they had that foreclosure, people were all up in my yard. They was slowing down, looking at the house, taking pictures. They would have had one of them people would have put offers on that house. How would U.S. Bank get it? You know. Right. So U.S. Bank began they are supposed to be the buyers and the sellers now. We got all this in writing. We're going to send you copies of it.
So they bought, because the nightmare is when someone else says they purchased your house and they didn't give you any money. So even as a part of this scam, they're not even telling you, here's your check for what your house is worth.
Right.
We have, there's a freeway going to move here. You got to go find something else. They're not even trying to do that.
They didn't even tell me that they had traded that deed. The DA wrote me and told me that. Because they said that they had did so many illegal things that whenever somebody gets a deed, they tell them.
Right.
So they opened a case for me, but see, they're so busy. And then what Faye did was they would they wrote me in September and dated it the letter back to January. And that's the kind of stuff they would do. So I said, I know I'm not doing business with them. So I opened up a case with the Congressman DeSaulnier and put in a complaint that they were, but see, they're so busy. They opened a case up, but they're not doing anything. But when I called the other day and I was telling them, because one of the guys had resigned, and he says, oh yeah, I remember you. You know, I say, yeah, but I haven't heard from you guys, you know.
Right.
But they're busy. But I just wanted him to have it on record that they had wrote me and back 8 months, you know. So they was starting off the line. I said, I'm not making a deal with them.
So as a part of this process, did pulling a deed out of nowhere and trying to get it to look legit become...
I guess, because I looked at it and I said, I can't believe this. I said, how in the world would they get my house? And how they gonna just deed it on their own? But they did.
So who'd they buy it from? If they didn't
question.
buy it from you, or
Did
they
Bob say that
they just wrote up a thing? Or?
What did they do? I don't know, but I got the deed somewhere. I'll find it and send you.
So there's a new deed where you're no longer the owner.
Right.
That you just got given to
Well,
you.
they put me on the bottom some kind of way. I don't know what they did, but my name was on the bottom of one of them. But Bob
You
says
never signed anything, no.
no. They never even consulted me about it. I never talked to them about it.
And
But
if you don't sell your home, there's no bank.
and they're the buyers
accidental-
and the sellers. But the big thing is, see, they're relying on Clarion Mortgage, and Clarion Mortgage don't have any. The secretary said everything is null and void with them, so they don't have nothing if that's all they got. That's nothing.
So they just pull up with a deed. You didn't sell them the house. Okay, what about this is for the people who play golf with the rich and they don't see anything wrong, right? This deed popped out of nowhere and you're no longer the owner. That's a fact. You didn't sell the home. They're not claiming to have bought the home from you. They're just saying that the world is so complicated that someone can end up with your deed title.
That's what it is. Cause I've had it for 31 years, and now all of a sudden they got the name, whatever their name is, a U.S. Bank. And see, U.S. Bank wasn't supposed to be with them, and it's got all the words, don't it, that they say being used as. And I say, how do they think somebody gonna fall for this?
Right. Because, so basically, Faye tried to deed a scam, or allegedly tried to pull a deed out of nowhere, in a sense, where they were the owners and you weren't. And then
They have it up for sale.
so they just started trying to sell the house. This
They got a what's that realtor's name?
Keenan Howard.
So Keenan Howard just felt comfortable enough to start trying to sell the house. When you started fighting back, their backup plan was to say that this is still happening, but U.S. Bank is doing it to you. So
Yeah.
yeah,
They changed from Faye Service to the U.S. Bank.
So U.S. Bank is in on. They're accepting the deeds. Like when they get a deed, or they're partnering with these deeds.
And they're the buyers and the sellers. That's what I can't get over. Because look, if
they're the buyer and the seller.
yeah, because see, if they foreclosed, if they had a legal foreclosure to do that court, somebody would have bought that house because they were all over the place looking, and taking pictures.
Right.
And they didn't. If the U.S. Bank had to do it, that means they didn't have a sale. There wasn't no sale. But that's how they did it. But I mean, do they think people are stupid? Who gonna believe they gonna buy and sell at the same time? They buying and selling.
They buy,
U.S.
yeah,
Bank.
they're the buyer and seller.
Yeah, the buyer and the seller.
So
Why would they be buying it if they, selling it and you already own it?
right. Oh my goodness. I can't believe
I know.
it. So they're not even claiming to have bought it from you.
They never talked to me.
And the judge didn't let you say anything.
Nothing.
Because if you would have said anything, you could have said in one sentence, I never sold my home, or this is a scam, or
I was trying to tell her that I was not due process. I know good and well I said that's got to be a felony or something, that I can't even say anything and tell my part how because there was a judgment against me because I didn't come to court because I didn't know.
Because you weren't served.
I wasn't served. And the guy, and look, I just saw his picture a couple of days ago because my friend Chuck, he said, was that Rael? He's got like an Indian name or something. And what is it? R-E-U-L? Raul.
Raul.
And I say, because, I thought the guy was black. And I say, I never saw this man before in my life. I've never seen him. But yet and still, they just say whatever they want.
Right.
And then, they got to be pretty crooked to anybody go for that. Because look at you puzzled. How did this happen? But that's what they did. And I'm gonna show you on the same page as they the buyer and the seller. And then it looked like they had my name on the corner somewhere because I'm discovering all this stuff myself because they didn't tell me nothing.
So what happens to unprotected people who go through this? You think on average, the way that they approached you, if you would have had to go through this alone, what do you think what do you feel like is the big problem or the big threat?
Well, what I think is a lot of this homelessness, because see, this is what they said on the internet. They said a lot of people are senior, and they don't know what to do, and
right.
they don't have a clue what to do. So because see, a lot of people just leave. They really thought they was gonna just get me out of here.
Because a lot of people probably fall victim. They just get the paperwork and go, "Wow, I just don't own my home."
I had people in my own family that see when I first started. I got. After I got sick, I had a federal lawsuit, and it was and with my attorney, and they said that if I dropped that federal lawsuit, they would give me a loan modification, and I did. And the payments were affordable. It was $1,705. This was about 10 years ago, but they never would. I was paying, and everything was just going really good. But that's when they was setting everybody up and they weren't going through with it. They had no intention because for no reason they started sending my payments back. And then they blocked it because my daughter knows how to send it through the mail.
And what company was this?
IndyMac.
IndyMac. And they were over the loan at some point?
Mm-hmm. And they sent them back. So they told them that if I dropped that federal lawsuit and they would give me a loan modification. And I did. But that was with NACA and all that. That's how I met my friend Chuck at NACA. And they didn't have any intention of letting me keep that house because they said there was something wrong with the signature. My attorney, it was Timothy McCandless, he says, there was nothing wrong with that signature. They're just lying, But anyway, they started sending them payments back. And they blocked a lot of my relatives and things, papers. And they moved. See, but I wouldn't move. But anyway, I got up, and then they would offer like $1,000 more than I was coming in. My income was $2,900, and they wanted $3,600. Who gonna try to borrow money every month and don't have no money for your food and gas and all that stuff? I said, I'm not signing nothing like that. So we've been back and forth fighting about it, and then they said, well, you have to pay $177,000. Always something impossible. So I just ignored them and fought them with my attorney till we got to pay.
Wow.
But yeah, it's hard for me to believe that they think people are so stupid, but evidently it's working because they're still doing it. You should see the money that Faye and them have made. That's in the newspaper too. They've made a fortune.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So they pretty much, they target older people of color,
Mm-hmm.
and they try to convince them that they don't own their properties. That's what you're...
That's what they're saying because they're just saying to my face that it's not your house anymore. So what I want to do is first we got to get rid of that eviction, and then I'm suing them because since they got all this money, because I almost lost my life. I'm still struggling to walk, because broken ribs and heart and lungs and all this stuff because they was aggravating me to no end, driving all up on my property, sending people here, and then talking about me like a dog,
Just stressed you out.
They don't even know I'm a sue them. They don't even know about the fall. I didn't tell them. I don't tell them anything because they're crooks.
Wow.
What is Faye Servicing? I guess they're a mortgage company.
They're a mortgage lender.
A mortgage lender.
Fair market. Is that what they say?
No, mortgage.
Oh.
So, what would you have to say to the homeowners right now who are going to pay attention because they don't want this to...
If what?
To other homeowners. What's your message to other homeowners in regard to, like, warning them against this same process? I mean, is there...
I tell them they need to get some help. If they come after you, you get an attorney or somebody. Because, see, the courts is not going to work because the courts is not with us. You know, not with that one down there. They wouldn't even let me talk, you know.
And that's Contra Costa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that commission. And look, Kevin had such a big support. He told his story one day, and he had 1,068 people calling in. And when we got here this morning, 6 in the morning, all of them were here. We had about a dozen people in here. My neighbors was a lot of support because they thought maybe the people might show up to try to get us. I said, that's not going to stop them, you know. But I had a lot of support, though. A lot of people helpful, though. Because, see, Kevin is a DJ, so he got a lot of people that like him.
Yeah.
Do you skate?
Yeah.
Oh, get on.
Yeah.
How about you?
Nah, I don't skate.
Oh, no, you coward.
Alright, we got that on
You
video.
gotta buy a pair now. He wears size 14 or something. He don't know where we're gonna find him some
Oh,
skates.
you gotta talk to Trey. That's my friend
he knows
has
where to get him.
their
Okay.
feet too. They're out there.
Alright,
You'll
so
find
yeah,
them.
I'm gonna keep that in mind.
That's a good exercise, though.
It
Oh
is.
yeah, it's fun.
I'd be scared of breaking something.
Right. So as you find yourself in a position where you've put in an ex parte, an emergency request to see a judge, can you put another one in?
I put another one in, and she rejected it. Because we had a whole, from Kevin's people recalling us, they put in a...
So they won't even put a judge on it. Only a commissioner, and then they don't want to talk about it.
No, they wouldn't let me have a judge because they wouldn't talk about it. And
Wow.
yeah, I thought that was I'm not really familiar with the court.
That's
I
a
don't
scam.
I don't have a record, so I'm not familiar with these people. But I was surprised that I couldn't even talk. That was pretty deep for me. I say, hi in the world, and I say, and in a senior citizen, you should see how they talk to me. Crosley this, Crosley that, and trying to turn me off. You saw that last thing they wrote?
I didn't get to look at it yet. But
Oh, it's a
someone,
mess. They just so low down tadpoles.
Man.
But
This
they
is-
but I just hate people. They really need to start some organizations to help people that wouldn't know what to do. Cause see, that's why a lot of people they give up. These people was my best friend and everything. She used to be a sheriff herself, but she's the one told me that they come in here and give them the key. They say if you don't open that door, they'll kick it open and give my enemies my keys. So I just wasn't having that. That's hard, boy.
Yeah.
Stuff I done worked for, like my dining room set. I've had this stuff 60 years almost, and then I'm gonna give it to them, reward them. I had to put, this house was built in '53. I had to put ceilings in, I had to put floors in, I had to put cabinets in, I had to modernize the bathroom, the kitchen. Now I'm gonna let the enemies that's doing wrong have my stuff. Because people
Right.
say, you should let it go and go. I said, I'm not packing, I'm not doing none of that. Kevin said he was scared I might get hurt because I wasn't prepared to leave.
So, you're prepared to pretty much to countersue, basically.
To what?
To countersue.
Oh, yes. Of course. Yeah, they owe me money. All the pain and suffering I went through. And the harassment. I'm not, because, in my era, when you get a certain age, you got respect. And I'm not used to nobody calling me all kind of names and stuff. And talking about me like I did something wrong. They the ones that started this whole thing. All those people, you should have seen that Cow Palace, boy. It was full of people, that losing their homes and stuff. It was just, I couldn't believe it. Because that's the first time, Laura Anthony,
Mm-hmm.
I was in Pittsburgh at NACA, one of them hoods thing, doing everything I could to, get another loan after that other
Right.
one fell. And a ABC truck rolled by. It was Laura Anthony, and I say, what are the odds? I've never been to Pittsburgh before. I said, what are the odds of having a truck here from the news. I said, wonder if I should say anything. Meanwhile, the government swooped out there and got him, so I didn't have to talk. And so then I was still out there, and the lady stuck her head back down. Would you like to be interviewed? I said, yes, I would. She put me on there 5 times.
Right. So can you pinpoint anything in history that this is similar to? Land grabs like this, or potential what is, if this is hard to understand for somebody, I mean, have you heard of anything like this?
Not about the house, but I lived through the Jim Crow era, and I grew up in San Francisco in the projects. Crockett-Hamilton Projects was up there by the Cow Palace, and I remember. But I spent summers down south, and it was so different. This reminds me of that era, the stuff they're doing now, because they're really trying to take it back. Trying to take us back. That's the whole thing. Because I remember that black people couldn't look white people in the eye. They had to look down when they was talking to them. I lived through this, and we didn't.
That was a law?
Huh?
That was like a law or a culture?
It was the law. And we had to stand on the back of the bus while the white men could sit down in the front, and my cousins then would be trying to get me up, and we didn't even have inside plumbing in Louisiana, and they say, you just making up stuff. You don't have no inside plumbing, because in San Francisco we always had inside plumbing. But I remember walking behind what was his name, with Martin Luther King, Loris, his best friend, walking behind that wagon with him, and I just remember that when you could buy food inside, but you couldn't eat it inside, like in Lady Sing Blues, but you had to go out, take yours outside, and she was the star, but she couldn't eat inside. And then when you'd see these nice, pretty big bathrooms, all clean and pretty, then you'd see colored, and it'd be just filthy, and nobody could go in there. And no, I remember those days, because I often think, I haven't seen the movie Till yet, but I remember his mother stood up, because when they took that boy, that was the beginning of everybody, because when they took all the skin off his head, and I was thinking, I say, but you know what? They gave him to them. I say, nowadays they plant somebody. You can get none of my kids, But, yeah, you can see it. Only thing is, we have to get more of our people to vote, because we outnumber them. The rich people is really on top of a lot of this, because they want to be the lessors and we be the lessees. And they want us to be renters, and they own all the property, because they're trying to do that. I remember I was talking to Bro Mabry, a psychologist in San Francisco, and he had, he's up there in San Francisco with a beautiful view. And I said, you have a view up there? He said, yes. And I say, wow. He says, yeah, but he says, somebody tried to get me, he only renting. He says, they tried to give me $30,000 just to move. And he said, because if we move, then they're going to run these prices up. Right. So a lot of this is supposed to be with them changing things from us, because they are trying to take us back. I think everybody notices that. Yeah. And
when you say take us back, how far do you think? We just at a time similar to where when they come around, we just be like, okay, here, give me your house.
I don't think it would ever get to that.
I know, but
I think that they could manipulate enough where we would, if we can't afford the houses, because look what they were offering me, and if I would take anything they were giving, once I got under Faye Servicing, it'd be over, because they gonna go up and they gonna do something. See, that's why I refused to do business with them, because I know I would have lost my house.
Right.
But no, I think they're getting much better than we realize. I think, because people don't know. Because people, when they saying that they'll wait for somebody who hates us, why would you vote for him? Why? How you gonna vote? Do you know? And you know what? We don't talk enough to our people, because, I have relatives that need they need their food stamps. They need WIC. And they don't know that these people coming in, they're not going to give you none of that. You don't know that. You're not going to be able to have these helps if you let these certain people in. But, so that's bad enough. Because there's a lot of people, most of the people I know, we eat what we want and able to eat and everything. But everybody, these children can't, some of these kids are hungry and don't have it, I think all of us should give back to charity and to help people, especially kids. I hate to think of kids not having enough to eat, and it's happening because you read about it.
Right. Wow. So what is next?
Next?
Yeah, what's next? So tomorrow they're threatening to, they're kind of like acting like they're going to come. They acted like they were coming today.
Yeah, I think Bob might have taken care of that because they haven't said anything else. He's Bob, what's his last name?
Jones.
What is it?
Jones.
Jones, yeah, Robert Jones. He met somebody. Bob always comes up with something. Him and Chuck Fetters, he lost his house, my good friend. He's over there in Alameda, but he's still fighting to get the money back. But see, I couldn't replace everything that I have with no money. I mean, it would, just even buying, you can't find the stuff, you know. But no, I think what we have to do is stick together and realize what we're up against and try to get everybody to come together. I'm glad when people be knocking doors and stuff, you know. But it's they trying to take us back though. Not back to where we gonna take a beating, be hung or nothing. They do that too probably.
Just far enough back to where
where
they can own us.
We struggling and they're on top. Because, you know, I was reading where...
Hey, go ahead.
What you dancing for?
I was trying to get past the.
Oh. So, I was reading where they... Kevin broke my train of thought. We need to educate our people, our young people, and tell them. Because, see, I don't think anybody's clear enough to what could happen to us.
That is crazy.
So I think we need to educate our people, especially our young people, and make sure they vote and make sure, see, we could make a difference. People don't realize that. We could make a difference if we get together collectively and decide what we want. Because, see, that's why they're trying to take our vote, too, you know.
Right.
They want to take that.
No, I was watching Malcolm X talk about how white people elections without the black vote, they can't even count it. It's so close that they have to recount it, but the black vote.
They need to get rid of that gerrymandering and all that craziness. A vote for one. Everybody gets a vote. All that stuff that way they can change the stuff, you know, so you get more of them in and all that needs to go.
Ranked choice voting just cost a black man that was on the school board, that's his seat. So
What?
he won, but because of how long it took
Yeah.
to count,
See?
they inaugurated someone else yesterday
What?
in Oakland.
What? In
Mike-
Oakland?
Mike
I
Hutchison.
saw something about that.
Who was it?
Mike Hutchison.
Ain't that
He's
dope?
anti-charter. And when I say anti-charter, I simply mean he holds them accountable, doesn't let them steal. And
Because, you know, my
Oh,
church
no.
is over. We go to Acts.
mhm.
Because they
Yeah.
have a full deaf ministry over there. Acts Full Gospel.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Interpreters and everything. That's one of the
cool.
reasons we went there.
Right.
My daughter, Kevin's mom, they got
Nice.
interpreters.
Nice.
It's a progressive church. I like that.
Right.
And I love Bob Jackson.
Yep. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
Yeah, he is. Because, you know what? He makes them go help clean up the streets and stuff.
Mhm.
I think that's really remarkable, you know, and the people that go by, and he's out there with them.
Right. So you are from the San Francisco Bay Area, but you
I
lived
grew
in
up
Louisiana
in San Francisco
too.
Bay Area. I was born in Baton Rouge.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because you said Louisiana before. So that's what's up. So I'm just trying to get just process what you're saying, but basically,
You act like you hadn't heard this before.
it's always been a missing piece to me because I do carpentry and I know people who own
Oh, you
homes.
do?
I know people who flip homes, and I might know people who lie about the process. Like, yeah, we gotta build some stuff. Like, what we building? I don't know. We just gotta, that's where I come in. But I always felt when in the 2009 when everyone lost their home, I was like, what is the definition of losing your home? You don't sell your home, you got it. But it's not that easy.
No, because they'll trick you too. See, they'll set it up where you can't do something. And see, if you don't know any better, like my lawyer, I had a lawyer, a law firm, trying to make me sign saying I gonna borrow $1,000 every month. Who gonna sign that? I thought he was crazy. My own lawyer drove up here from Modesto somewhere, trying to get me to sign. I said, y'all better get up out of here.
Wow.
in a hurry.
So, you think there's like a target on the elderly, people of color?
And I'm hearing them rich people. Because they got away with not paying taxes. How you going to make billions of dollars and not pay any tax? If that is not the... And that's been going on for what, 4 years? That's crazy. They can pay and don't want to pay that little bit of money that's not going to do nothing to them.
Right. Wow. So
Red.
what can we expect tomorrow? Are they threatening to knock on the door tomorrow?
What's happening with us? Did they get it?
They're still working on it. So I don't know at the moment.
When you say working on it, what do you mean? Working on the...
We're reversing our lockout.
So
Yes.
you guys have a lockout against you, granted.
Yeah, because of that woman. She wouldn't leave and listen. That commissioner.
Jill J. Lifter wouldn't let my grandma speak and wouldn't talk to our lawyers either.
And granted a lockout.
And
The lockout, it begins today or ends tomorrow? Or
it ends today. Tomorrow. I mean in the morning.
so it's supposed to start tomorrow. The lockout is supposed to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, the Lord always have a ram in the bush, so this guy is pretty knowledgeable. Bob usually gets us through, so I hope he gets through today. Because I don't know what I would do. I'm totally unprepared for anything else.
Well, we're hoping we can, in the event that they do come, we have enough support here and documentation.
They ain't gonna pay us no mind if they get that.
No, everybody needs to see if that happens.
Okay. Yeah, they already. Look at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin was the first one.
Barricade.
They've been here all day since 6 this morning.
Well, we were late. I was late. I was late at 6.
Wow.
Brought tea.
So tomorrow morning we gotta see what's up and be here early.
Please.
Because they might try to...
But I don't know what we could do though if they don't get rid of it. I don't know anything we can do because all they have to do is ignore us from what I can see.
So here's the thing.
Just escalate it and put it on camera and then they'll have to back off. That's
Yeah,
my experience.
Yeah. You know, write a number on your arm. You know what I'm saying? In case they take your phone. Like, you could get potentially arrested for this kind of thing. So you have to be prepared.
Yeah.
Write a number. Know your rights.
Well, you know what? They called the judge so much they blocked it out,
Don't do
didn't
anything that you
they?
don't want to do. Don't do
Oh,
anything
no,
you don't
not
want
the judge, the realtor. But they also been calling the judge, too. So.
They had to cut the phone off. And so many of them was bawling them out.
Really? I don't think they gonna come tomorrow. Man, they must... I don't
From what my girlfriend said, she was the deputy sheriff. Nothing to stop them from coming in here if they got it. And she said they're not gonna do nothing but lock us out.
There's some eviction defenses that are successful though. I just got...
We need to keep them like far away from the actual house. Like keep them off the block. Like barricade the roads.
No, that's
Okay.
not
No, you can't keep them out.
Yeah.
No,
Too
they
many
say that guy
neighbors.
locks us out
You
and
can-
give my keys to the new owner.
But if they can't get
They
up the
could park
street
down the hill and have to walk
and
up.
have to walk up, exactly.
Yeah.
Block it with all the cars.
Oh, if we block it, we
Get
don't
all
have that
your
kind of
neighbors'
power.
cars
Block
to
the
block
street.
the roads.
Yeah.
I mean, there's enough people.
They
we
come-
could-
they-
we said they'll come do it.
Let's have a breakfast party tomorrow.
Cars, that's
Here,
good.
bring your own breakfast.
Well, we had planned on having a rally. See, but the weather wouldn't work with us.
The weather has not been working for that.
Yeah, we had planned a whole big rally.
We should do a breakfast
Cars
tomorrow.
is smart. The cars is smart.
Yeah, that was a
Well, they used to walking around here because they walk them dogs all day and night. Don't